Hey guys, welcome to another video. So today's video is going to be in connection to last few videos that I made about food intolerance tests that I've done, and I would like to talk about my food intolerances today. Basically I received these results. I just remind you that whatever was on the red needs to be eliminated straight away. So this is reaction, what's on the yellow is borderline, and no reaction on the green. So I had 6 foods that I'm intolerant to. After the test I had an consultation with nutritionist, Laurisian nutritionist, half an hour on the phone, and there will be an option actually on our website for you can opt to do the test with the nutrition advice. Anyway, I spoke to a lady, and she basically she did ask you questions first. So whatever your diet looks like, if you're if you eat any processed foods. She said that with me it's it's quite pretty simple because I don't really eat any processed foods. I'm already aware of health and healthy diet. Anyway, whatever's at the top, I'm intolerant to this the most. And so the first one was yeast, and yeast is a little bit more complicated because when it comes to yeast, this is not only yeast that you eliminate. So yeast, I don't really eat any processed products, so yeast would be only in probably bread, the gluten-free bread that I used to buy. Now I make my own bread. You know the recipe already. It's on my I posted it a few weeks ago, I believe. So I actually, when it comes to yeast, it's not only yeast but anything that is fermented. That would be vinegar, which I actually drank apple cider vinegar every single day for years, honestly, for years. So as you can see, those food intolerance tests are really useful because you might think that you're doing something good that can be beneficial to other people, but it actually is not good for you. So it doesn't suit your body. So apple cider vinegar, any sort of vinegars. I think it was soy sauce as well, which I use tamari sauce in cooking sometimes. Which is a similar thing. Now another thing was fermented foods. So you might think fermented foods are really good for you, right? Well, you might be wrong when it comes to food intolerances, because generally fermented foods are amazing, but anything sort of anything like gherkins, anything like this, it's a no-no. Sauerkraut, it's a no-no for yeast intolerance. Another thing was what was mushrooms. So you wouldn't think mushrooms, but mushrooms is a fungi. So so this sort of thing, mushrooms, she said any ripe fruit is good, but overripe is no good, definitely. So anything that sort of can be overripe, then the same thing you get with dried fruit, she said. So dried fruit is a no-no for now. So that was yeast intolerance. So this is a little bit more complicated than you might think just by eliminating yeast. Next thing was cashew nuts, which I eliminated completely, and I haven't eaten cashew nuts since then at all. Well, I tried to eliminate everything basically that was on the list, on the red at least. Now cashew nuts were the foods that I was eating quite a lot and pretty much every day before. So I did ask her, is it possible that the food that I'm intolerant to, like cashew nuts, is there on the list because I was eating it quite often? And she said definitely not, because if it was the case, then there's probably on the list quite a few foods that I eat on a daily basis or quite often that didn't come up in the test. And I said, you know what, you're right. And another thing was egg white. With egg white, I did ask if I can eat basically egg yolk, and she said, well, basically you can, but it's really hard to separate the yolk from the white, which if you ever try to do this, then she said, you know what, you know that there's always some white going into the yolk, which is true. The only thing that I tried right at the beginning when I got the test results was that I tried to boil the egg and I just ate a yolk, and at that time I didn't really feel well after that. So I don't know about it now, which I might actually try very soon, but at that time I didn't, it didn't work for me. Now, so that was the red, the foods that were in the red. Now, on yellow, there was aniseed seed, and before I thought it was fennel bulb that is actually connected to aniseed seed, but I don't think it is, so I can, I think, reintroduce fennel bulb. I haven't eaten any aniseed seed, and now grape Chardonnay. Chardonnay, when it comes to it, this is white wine. Chardonnay, I drank, I think, a couple of times. I drank wine not too long ago. So once I didn't have a reaction at all, and the second time I had a slight reaction. So, you know, you never know. When it comes to garlic, which is the last one, so actually this is the least, I'm intolerant to it the least. So when it comes to garlic, I do eat garlic in, let's say, hummus a few times a week, and I have no reaction whatsoever. And I don't add garlic at the moment to foods, so I'm fine. But I've noticed that if I add, let's say, I don't know, a spice mix, which is just, you know, just spices, nothing else added, and there is some garlic in it, I do have a slight reaction. It might be this one, I'm not too sure. Maybe it's constant in a different concentration in spices, I'm not too sure, but generally I don't really have problems with garlic. So these are my results, and you receive with results your guidebook. Guidebook looks like this. So initially you do have some tips and advice, and it says like understanding your results, food mixes on the color-coded results sheet. Then you've got milk, dairy intolerance. So you've got milk, about milk, dairy intolerance, egg intolerance, I think yeast intolerance, and gluten and wheat intolerance. So you've got some advice on that one. When it comes to this, let's say egg intolerance, you'll have other names that manufacturers use in foods, processed foods, that it wouldn't say that it's an egg, but it would say that it's Livatin or something like this, or globulin, lecithin E3222, no 22. So this is it, and as you can see, it's yeast intolerance. So it says also that where to look for it. So gravy and stock cubes, fermented drinks, beers, wines and ciders, ginger beer, mushrooms, vinegar, bread, dried fruit, marmite, stuff like that. So this is advice that you get as well, and here what to expect from your new diet, how to sort of because vitamins and minerals, so when you take away food, then how to replace sort of lost vitamins and minerals. And also you've got a diary, some more tips here, frequently asked questions, and you have a 12-week plan to a healthy future. So you've got a diary that you put, this is for week 1. You've got Monday, Tuesday until Sunday. You've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, food eaten. You put it down here, and then how you felt, and then changing your diet, changing your outlook. So this is what you say here. How do you feel this week? And you say excellent, worse, blah blah blah, and you do any notes. So basically it's for 12 weeks, and by the end of those 3 months you'll see how you feel and if you have improved. So this would be it, I think, guys, for now. So what I've done is actually I eliminated those foods for 3 months, and now I'm soon going to reintroduce it, and how the nutritionist suggested that we should do it like this. So you eliminate it for 3 months, then you reintroduce one food a week, and you should really sort of check, like leave it for a week and check for symptoms during this week. If everything's fine, then maybe you can reintroduce it. If it's not, leave it for another month, and then after a month check again. So she said that 3 things might happen. First of all, you might be able to sort of relearn to tolerate those foods again. Second thing is you might be able to tolerate them every now and then, and the third thing is you might not be able to tolerate them at all. So basically this is the elimination diet. These are my results. If you have any questions, please leave them in comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.